Hello and welcome to the demo portion of my car simulation racing game presentation in Unreal Engine 5. My name is Sean Phillips and let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, we are in the starting location for the race, and we have two vehicles here, the blue user-controlled Dodge Hellcat pawn and the red Tesla AI-controlled vehicle pawn here as well. Before we get into the race itself, let's go ahead and just take a step back here, look at the landscape. And as you can see here, the mountain regions were created using USGS, digital elevation map datasets available online. And those files were imported into a program called Terra Sculptor, which is a free 3D terrain sculpting program. And in that program, I was able to create a PNG file height map, which I was able to import into Unreal Engine to create this landscape. Now, the original source data set is roughly about 40 square kilometers, which is much too large for this game. So it did need to be scaled back considerably, which has led to kind of some weird shapes appearing in some of the mountains. But I do think it does give it a little bit of character. The lake is not something that is originally part of this area, which is northwest LA. Malibu is actually on the other side of these mountains. So it was just added to add a little bit of exciting changes to the area. As you can see, there's quite a bit of foliage assets here. These were downloaded from the Unreal Marketplace for free. And there's roughly about 60,000 total tree assets and rock assets. Um, and that is something that has created a bit of an optimization issue, and that really puts a lot of demand on the texture streamer. And that's really kind of specific to a racing game. And what essentially happens is that generally objects that are far away from the user are rendered in a lower quality, lower level of detail. And as the user gets closer to those objects, the texture streamer streams in the high resolution textures. And the rocks along the lake, the trees, the road, they all have 4K or 8K textures. So it is quite a lot of data that is streaming in. And as the vehicles are moving quite fast, it is just having to stream in a lot of data. So that is one thing that I was able to fix by editing the limitations in the default engine file. But my computer has quite a bit of high-end specs that allow it to be able to accomplish that with no slowdown to the GPU, but that is something to keep in mind for optimization for other systems. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just get into the racing demo here. And it'll just take one moment to start up here. Okay, so as you can see, the AI vehicle takes off on its own, and the user vehicle responds to all inputs, braking, turning, moving forward. We have the gears and speed over to the left here. As you can see, there's no collisions currently for foliage assets, and that is due because from the research I was able to look into, right now it's not fully optimized for Unreal Engine for all the assets. You would need to manually go into each of the physics assets and draw the collisions essentially. And as these are all third-party assets that have no collisions, it's beyond the scope of this project right now at this time. But there are collisions on all the custom assets, so if the two cars were to collide, they would register a collision. There's a collision on the custom mesh road asset, which allows the vehicle to not fall right through it. Um, and there's a collision, obviously, on the landscape as well. So there is no ending race condition, so the user is free to explore this whole map on their own. Currently, the AI vehicle is limited in the corners on its speed so that it doesn't just take them at top speed. So it is quite easy to outpace the AI vehicle as long as you stay on the path. But as there is no end condition, the user is free to explore the entire map. Um, and these the weight of the car, the speed of the car, the ratios for the gears of the car are all taken from online specifications, which does give it a realistic feel. However, there are some specific um, peculiarities, I would say, with the underlying Parrot class, the chaos wheeled vehicle, that does not allow it seemingly to reach the top speeds that this car should. That is something that would need to be optimized in the future as well. Okay, so that will conclude the racing portion here. And we were able to see the reset button in full effect there. So that is another item that makes this a little bit more drivable so that you don't just end up on your back as well. Okay, thank you very much for watching.